It's time for another segment of Mr. and Mrs. Medicare, saving seniors from a high cost of healthcare, debunking Medicare, making Medicare easy to understand for all seniors. All guests of any of the Medicare segments receive the free ebook written by your MedicareLady.com. Here are your hosts, Paul and Sarah Finkelstein.
Hi, thanks for Your Medicare Lady for sponsoring this episode. If you do want the free ebook, just email wow@omgtalk.com. I'll get it right out to you. And just put in the subject line, put in the subject line, I want that free Medicare book, everything about Medicare for free. And email me at wow@omgtalk.com. Or if you need the Medicare Lady and you have some urgent questions, just call her directly at 561-302-5760. That's Your Medicare Lady. Call her directly at 561-302-5760. And Tony has the last word, and I'll come right back in to introduce our speaker segment.
You have been listening to the OMG Podcast with Paul Finkelstein. We can help you build wealth without hogging your time. Schedule a one-on-one with us. Thanks for listening. Join us again for another OMG Podcast segment.
And here's that quick introduction. Paul Finkelstein is a very popular name. There are over 50 Paul Finkelsteins on LinkedIn with the same exact first and last name. Paul Finkelstein doesn't like to stay in the lines because he does like to think bigger than that. How about yourself? Well, unless you're okay with the status quo, mediocrity, and never getting a raise from your job or business ever, you'll definitely not be interested in this spotlight speech coming up or entrepreneurship. But you might find this next talk, very interesting, and it's got some interesting concepts. So, Paul Finkelstein, confidence, Paul Finkelstein. Hi there, how are you? I'm Paul Finkelstein, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guest. Before I even begin, I just want to share with you today, my club in person awarded me, all right, I got third place for the evaluation contest. Yay me, third place. That was today's contest in person. Thank you so much, Centered Toast, for a great contest. And then, of course, I did participate. If you see a contest, I strongly encourage you to participate in a Toastmaster contest. Here's my certificate for participating in the International Speech Contest for Toastmasters International at Center Toast in Boca Raton. And I also participated in the Table Topics Contest. Here's that certificate as well. And then with that third place, I have my certificate for participating in the evaluation contest as well. 3 amazing contests I strongly encourage, but here's a book that you got to read. Well, I tried this version for my international speech contest. I wanted to call it Storytelling Hour, and frankly, I had way too much material that I normally like to have in a speech. So I had some information here that I wanted to share in book format, like I'm reading a very interesting documentary of my life. So I wanted to share a couple of things here with you. But anybody that was ever scared before starting anything, if you were ever scared before starting anything, let's have a show of hands or put something in the comments, wherever piece of social media you're listening to this. But how can you get more confident? Well, back in 1980, I thought girls were scary. Or was I just scared of them? Are you scared of girls? But anyway, I developed a symptom that without being diagnosed could have held me back for my entire lifetime. And what symptom is that? Well, I digress. So in 1986, I got my first trophy. It was huge. And to me, it was huge. It was my life was finally improving. It was this ginormous trophy that I had received from high school soccer, most improved player. But it was great to be able to get that trophy. And Toastmasters does have lots of different awards and certificates that you can get from Toastmasters. I worked so hard that year to get better in soccer. That's what school's for, right? Soccer? Any athletes over here? Soccer is great. But what about those classes? And here's some stories from one of those classes, too. I had a high school teacher named Mrs. Good. Did you have Mrs. Good? It was Good with an E on the end of it. Is there anybody here with the last name Good with an E on the end of it? Did you know Mrs. Good? If you know her, you know that she taught humanities. She was one of my teachers, and she wanted me to pass this humanities class. I wanted to play soccer, and well, my mom locked me in my room with her and food for the last weekend before final exams, before graduating high school, for one long weekend. And we learned the whole year in 3 days. Did you ever try to cram 3 days worth for an entire year's worth of study in high school? I mean, this teacher did not want to pass me. I wasn't doing good there. But did it work? Did I pass the class? And I got some good news. I did pass the class. Matter of fact, I got every single question right on that final exam. And Mrs. Good thought I cheated. You see, we sat COVID style before even COVID existed back in the 80s. There's no way that I cheated, but we didn't even have any phones back then to text. So no problems there. But in 1994, I thought picking up a phone was scary. Or was I just scared of using the telephone? Did I think a customer on the other end of the phone would use their phone against me? Did you miss the day that they handed out instructions to use a phone? Or talk to girls? Where are the instructions to talk to girls? Or pay attention in class in high school? I liked soccer. In 1985, the mailman got my attention, Bob. He delivered this letter. And here's the letter. And it said, "Want to speak with a passion?" On the very bottom of it, it said, Toastmasters. And it came to my mailbox, but on the outside of the letter, it had my name, all in lights, with my address, but anybody around the world could have mailed it. That letter is pretty important because it got me to my first Toastmaster meeting. In 1996, I thought asking my girlfriend to marry me was scary, and I was just scared. That rooftop restaurant, that beautiful view off the Intercoastal, that shiny new brand new ring, those things made the scary part less scary. A nice romantic evening. And then, will you marry me? In 1997, I received my first $2 million check from a client. That was scary. I was just getting into the business and, well, I was learning how to advise clients. But you got to start somewhere, right? I was happy. I was top 100 in my candidate training class. In 2002, I thought that censored toast was scary. Or was I just scared of censored toast Toastmasters? In 2003, I found that letter in a box that traveled with me from Florida in my suitcases to, from Georgia to Florida. I didn't stay too long at censored toast, though, because after my first 9 speeches and a Christmas time social event, I was given an ultimatum by work. And that was work or do Toastmasters. And well, they made the choice for me and I had to take work. It was important. It paid the bills. And I was going through my training program. But in 2014, a friend of mine at a networking event at a 2J's Deli in Coral Springs, all the way in Coral Springs, referred me to Toastmasters back in Boca. She said, if you join Toastmasters, and she knew that we had our own business, she said, I can learn to be a better presenter. And she said, I can be better than I am now. And that was then. She said it didn't matter if it was an audience for 1, 2 people, or 10,000. But listen, someone's waiting for you, your letter, your phone call, your email, your text. Someone in the world wants to help you win the game of life. So invite them to a Toastmaster club, your Toastmaster club near you. And if you're not part of a Toastmasters club, come be a guest of mine on Wednesdays at noon. Just text me. I want in on that, Paul, for that Toastmaster thingy at 561-302-0051. That's 561-302-0051. And remember, as my friend John says, champions make decisions, and decisions make champions. I think it's one heck of a story, and I wanted to show you. I brought my mailbox inside. It says that you've got mail. Here's U.S. mail. Little prop over here. I think that having a prop could really enhance anybody's speech. So thanks for listening to how you can get more confident and what happens if you actually, as a Toastmaster member, they don't have the Toastmaster magazine anymore, but you could just print off just one page, and put it in an envelope and put somebody's name on it that you think you can make a difference. Put the address, put a stamp on it, and mail it to them. And then go the extra step and follow up, because that person didn't follow up with me, but somehow it got me to a Toastmaster meeting. Now I'll give the last word to your Medicare lady again and follow up there. And I wish you a great evening.
It's time for another segment of Mr. and Mrs. Medicare, saving seniors from a high cost of healthcare, debunking Medicare, making Medicare easy to understand for all seniors. All guests of any of the Medicare segments receive a free ebook written by your MedicareLady.com. Here are your hosts, Paul and Sarah Finkelstein.
And before you go, if you do want that free Medicare ebook, just email Paul at wow@omgtalk.com. That's wow@omgtalk.com. Get your free Medicare ebook. Here's the last word from Tony.
You have been listening to the OMG Podcast with Paul Finkelstein. We can help you build wealth without hogging your time. Schedule a one-on-one with us. Thanks for listening. Join us again for another OMG Podcast segment.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. Nice bro to you too. And sup to you also. Have a great evening. Hi, shout out to you as well. And shout out to me. Shout out to me as well. Thanks for joining me. Have a fantastic night. If you want to be in touch as well, just email me at wow@omgtalk.com or text me. You want more information about Toastmasters? Text me, I want Paul's Club, and text me at 561-302-0051. That's 561-302-0051. Ciao for now, guys.